Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about your new to you Mark IV Golf 1.616 valve, and we're going to be looking at things that you should be doing, watch out for, and cleaning now you've just got one. So one of the first things you're going to do is you want to give it a full service. So you want to change the oil filter, air filter. You're also going to want to do the gearbox oil because they leak. There's a video on fluids, it's on there. You're also going to want to do a couple of little extra jobs which they don't normally tell you in the service. And one of those jobs is to clean the throttle body. So that one's taken off and then cleaning, and then you'll have to reset it. We'll show you how to do that. And then you're also going to want to take the map sensor off. That's MAP, not MAF, on these, and that is down here. Take that off, give that a clean. So just to show you a little bit more clearly on this throttle body, that is how dirty that side is. Now, this side is usually a lot cleaner than the underside. So I've had them before now where I've actually literally had to get a screwdriver and scrape it off because the cleaner just wouldn't do it. So that one looks extremely bad if it's that dirty on this side. And you were surprised at the difference that this makes once it's cleaned. So the map sensor is that thing there in the center of the screen with the screw. Now there's two of those, one at the top, one on the bottom, and a connector plug on the back. It's always a good idea to give these a clean. Now this, unlike the throttle, it doesn't need resetting. So you can literally just clean it and put it back on the car. Now then, another cleaning job you're going to want to do is remove this plastic arch liner. Now, you don't really need to remove the whole thing, but you should remove these screws, these two here. I think there's might be another one. Yeah, there's another one there, so there's three. And then there's this one up here as well. You want to remove those, and then behind here there will be loads and loads of rubbish, mud, and all the rest of it. Now, the important thing to know as the reason why you should be cleaning this out is because this mud will just sit behind here, right? And then each time it rains, you will end up with water running from your windscreen and off your scuttle down, and then it will then come behind the wing and it will come down here, right? So if it comes down here and you've got all this mud here, you're going to keep having mud that's going to keep getting wet behind here, and then that's then going to start causing you issues with the bottoms of your wings. That's the reason why these wings, if you see on a lot of these Golfs, these wings are rusted all down the bottom here, and that is because of all this mud that's sat behind here. It keeps getting wet. This can also potentially damage this end of your sill, and you don't want to be doing that because that would mean having a chunk took out and rewelded, or potentially even a whole new sill if it gets that bad. Now, the other thing is, obviously we've just discussed the front, but it also wouldn't be a bad idea to do the back. Now, unfortunately, this is going to be a bit of a faff. And the reason why this is going to be a bit more of a faff is because there is no options other than to have to remove the wheel in order to take this plastic liner out. It's a lot more of a chunky liner rather than the fronts. Now, when you come in to clean the front, I would definitely be doing that front, I'd say yearly, personally. The back, I would probably just do them once as soon as you get the car, and then I'd probably say every few years, just to keep on top of it. I mean, I don't know whether you can see, if I turn the camera around a bit, but I mean, there's a lot of crud all built up on the back of that wheel arch. And if you imagine that's just on the plastic, what's it going to be like on the metalwork beyond there? And that is going to have the same principle as all that mud and gunk down your back of your wing. So it is not good. The next thing is, if you're lucky enough to get a glove box that is actually working like this, leave it alone. It's an ornament. Don't use it, otherwise it will break. I would always be very careful if you do use it. I personally don't actually use DVX's glove box anymore in fear of it breaking, and we also don't use JPPs either. Now, some of the next things may seem a little bit strange as to why I'm telling you about them, but you'll see why. So the first thing is, I would check to make sure that your boot lock works with the key. So that's the first thing. So that does. If it doesn't, it's probably going to either need a bit of oil down there, left overnight maybe. Try and get your key in there, because ideally you want this lock working. And the reason why you're going to want the lock working is because a favourite thing of these cars, if you pull this gaiter back, now, favourite thing on these cars is for these wires. You can see that this one here is already frayed. It's favourite thing for them to break, and this then causes issues such as your rear window wiper not working, your boot lock not working on the remote central locking, the heated rear window also not working. You've also got some more on this side. And again, that one's frayed. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because if your boot lock doesn't work and then your electrics pack up, you've then got no way of getting into your boot other than to remove the two screws, one there, and then pull this panel off and give it a good yank. So just to save the hassle, I would see whether you can unfreeze your boot lock if it's just gone stiff with age. Now, the other thing would be to check your spare tyre. And you would be checking it for the date. So we'll have a look at this. Just see whether we can spot the date on here. Not too sure which side it's going to be on. It's usually on this side, but it can be on the other. I'm guessing, looking at this, it must be on the other. There we go. Yep. Right. So 0814. So that means that this tyre was made on the 8th week of 2014. So this tyre is now nearly 10 years old. So that's not too bad for a spare, but some of these are original tyres. CFL's tyre was original up until last year, as it came out the factory. I'm not too sure about DVX's actually. I'll need to check that. But as it doesn't go that far usually anyway, it should be all right. But the point is that you want to check the date, because you don't really want a really old tyre in here as a spare in case you do end up getting stranded, 100 miles away or more from home. And the other thing as well you want to check is the content of air in it, and make sure that it's got enough air in it if you did happen to use it, because obviously a lot of the time these wheels just sit in the boot for years on end, and then if they've got no air in them and you want to come and use it, it's about as good as the one that's already got the puncture on the car. Also, make sure you've got a jack. Again, cars are old, so as long as you've got a jack and that the jack works, that's going to work. Oh, these are a pain. That isn't right, but it doesn't matter. Now, if you've got alloy wheels, you are going to want to be having a good search around your car, specifically for this, which is your alloy wheel locking nut. Now, you obviously want to check to make sure that it fits, which obviously that one does, because without that, you ain't changing no wheel. Whilst you're there, you might have even come across this, the famous spring, which we will be doing a video on soon to explain to you what it is, what it does, and why it's found in nearly every Mark IV Golf car. So, you're all good to go. You've done your full service, including your cam belt. You've done your wheel arch liners. You've checked to make sure you've got the correct tools to change your wheels. You've checked your spare wheel condition. You've had a good look around your car, and you've checked for your alloy wheel locking nut, possibly even in the glove box, which you've been very careful with. But there is just one more thing before you go, and that is, now you've got your car, you should always leave your car in gear, no matter whether you parked on the flat or the straight. Otherwise, it will run away from you. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button.